Hey, it says that it is live. I'm hoping that it is. Well, in any case, folks, it's Kurt. I'm here with you. And I really just got done doing a 20-mile bicycle ride. And I thought, well, I got to clean up the chain. And I got a nice tool for that. I use this handy dandy thing here. I put a little dish soap in it. And then you pop the top off. You run the chain through it. Then you run the chain through the machine. And so I thought I would just kind of come out here and get this set up and do it with you. But the other side of the coin was I wanted to kind of have a chat about something. Hi, Remy. Remy's out here. He's my dog. But let me get that on. Being cantankerous. Okay. One of the things I wanted to kind of have a chat about was sometimes you got to know when to keep your mouth shut. Hey, I don't know if you see this on camera or not right now, but I always like this. It's like a dishwasher for your chain. The chain goes through the machine and it cleans up. And then try not to, there we go, try not to derail the chain. All right, there we go. There we go, it's back to working. But one of the things I was thinking of today on the ride, because it didn't come up, was how do you know when to just keep your mouth shut? I'll let that sit for a little bit. Let the soap do its thing. I was on a ride today, young kid's there. She's pedaling, and she is struggling. I'm not going to lie, she's struggling. And as she's struggling, you notice she's lifting her legs up really high. Okay, why is she lifting her legs up really high? Well, because her seat's too low. And so, but she's with her mom. Her mom's with her. And she's stopping to get a drink of water, and she's tired. You can tell she's exhausted. It's only a 10-mile ride, so it's not insurmountable, right? So there's 13 people on the ride. I'm the sweep, so I'm kind of hanging in the back, and I'm just making sure that no one breaks down or needs assistance or any of those things. And that's my role on the ride. Now, even though that's my role on the ride, here's something I've learned. Keep your dang mouth shut. This is something that comes up periodically. And so I was very clear about this. I said, I want to offer to help. And so did I mention, let me push this. There it goes. Well, now it looks like it's working. Apparently you have to know how to use the platform. So I'm learning every day, folks. I am learning every day. So she's pedaling, and like I said, her legs are going really, really, really high because her seat's too low. So, she's sitting low and her legs are having to come up for each pedal stroke. And so, yeah, the kid's tired. Of course the kid's tired. Now, I've been bicycling. I'm not going to lie and say professionally, right? But I have been bicycling with a passion for about 40 years. That's a long time. That's a lot of knowledge to gain over the years. Hi, Rem. You stay. I see you looking. Don't you do it. My dog likes to take off and run across the street while I'm doing stuff on the camera. So I offer once. I say, hey, and I make sure I preamble it, right? I say, hey, I realize she's probably not going to want to. I realize she's probably going to hate it. But if she were to raise her seat 2.5, 3 inches, she would get a full stroke, and she'd be working a lot less to pedal the bike. I left it at that. The mom turns around and says, oh, hey, I've got a wrench for that. Perfect. Step back. Done. Mission accomplished. Seed sown. That's it. Here's what I'm talking about. When I say keep your dang mouth shut, this lady's got a wedding ring on. I'm married. She's married. I'm not there picking up women. I'm just supervising a ride, right? But here's the other thought. They're younger. This poor dude, I don't know. They're married. They live together. They don't live together. They shared custody, together custody. I have no idea. I don't know who these people are. And since I don't know, I need to keep my yap shut and not make any assumptions. Let's assume they're younger and he's working. It's Saturday and the family's not getting exercise. Where's Dad? Like, the first thing you think of is, where's Dad? Dad's busy. Dad's doing something. Who knows? But does he want to come home from whatever it is he's doing and get the, some stranger had to fix the bicycle so she could ride it because you never made the adjustment, blah, blah, blah. No, he doesn't need to come home to that. I need to extend him some grace and the ability to do what he needs to do. Men have a habit of jumping into things and being like, I'm going to solve your problems. Let me fix this for you. Let me do this for you. Blah, blah, blah. Now, if she needed help adjusting the seat, when she said, oh, I have a wrench for that, she could have said, I have a wrench for that, but I couldn't figure it out. Or I have a wrench for that. It was a little tight for me. I have a wrench for that. And then I would have been there and I would have taken care of it. Where I think a lot of us make a mistake, and we do this in business too, which is why I'm putting it on the Mañana No Mas channel, is we see something we perceive as being incorrect or wrong, and then we force our opinion upon people. And there's a difference between offering and forcing. And so maybe it's the John Maxwell leadership stuff. Maybe it's just the 50 years plus of dealing with people in public. But you sow the seed. Hey, the seat looks a little low. I know she probably doesn't want to raise it, but if you want to, 2 or 3 inches, probably make it easier for her to ride the bike. Boom, done. End of story. I don't need to mansplain it. I don't need to do nothing. She goes, yeah, I got a wrench for that. Perfect. Now she can go home and she can say, oh, hey, it came up on the ride today. Her seat's really low. It'd be cool if you could raise the seat. Or maybe she does it. Maybe, I'm not saying, I'm not a sexist. She can raise the seat. I don't care who raises the seat. Somebody needs to raise the seat. Now, here's why I say it's important to keep your yap shut. What's the perception? Young mom out with her kid, doing something in a group, just trying to enjoy a Saturday, and up comes some old creepy guy who knows everything that wants to tell her how everything's supposed to be. Bad call, Boudreaux. Bad call. Don't make things negative. Positive reinforcement. Stay positive. Always stay positive. Now, here's what I can do. I can turn around and I can say, maybe next week they come on the ride, and maybe next week it's the same thing. Maybe next week she is, I'm going to give it another spin, get the soap going again. Maybe next week they come on the ride and it's fixed, right? And then, there we go, let that suds up. Maybe next week they come on the ride and it's fixed. And then I say, oh, hey, your seat's up perfect. How do you like it? Is it great? Just confirmation. Positive. Let's say we go to start the ride next week and the seat's still low. And then I'll say, hey, and I'll say it like this. I'll say, hey, I really don't want to overstep my bounds. I just want to make sure I offer to help. Did you want me to try and raise the seat and find a comfortable position for her? Or are we going to let it sit? Reasonable, not pushy. Hey, I don't want to overstep my bounds. I just want to make sure I offer. Done. Let it be. If they say yes, great. If they say no, great. Don't want to be pushy. Like I said, I don't want to put her in a position of going and saying to her significant other, hey, whoops, hold on. Woo! I don't want to put her in a position of going to her significant other and saying, oh, you let me down, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't need to hear it. She doesn't need to say it. Boom. Just keep it light. Here's where I say that this works in business. I work in the internet space. I do a lot with websites. And often, people that aren't clients, I want to be very specific about this. Remy, you stay. People that aren't clients will be like, oh, I was going to use this form tool with this form tool, and then I have this integration with this SEO tool, but then I also use this other SEO tool, but I noticed that the slider didn't have content that I could put keywords into for SEO, and they just start talking about these things, right? And if you're not in the web space and you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine. No harm, no foul. I think you'll get the message anyway. If they're not clients, but they're having these discussions, like for instance, I run the office hours mastermind call with Lifter LMS, and we give people advice on the call. That's part of what we do. It's like a groupthink mastermind situation. But here's the thing. My role is not to dictate what I think their tech stack should be in every situation. People are going to use what they choose to use. There's 60 some odd thousand choices in WordPress for plugins. And so out of those 60,000 pieces of software, you pick something, you pick it. Great, you have at it. Now, that changes, right? So here's what I say, keep your mouth shut. If people ask my opinion, I can give my opinion. If they start talking about, I'm using this and I really like it and I use this and I got this thing and that thing, and in my mind, I'm thinking, What a cacophony of nonsense. I can't believe you're trying to stitch all this stuff together in the back of our website. I'm one of those like simplicity is king people, right? I like to keep things as simple and as streamlined as possible, as lightweight as possible. I like to keep things kind of smooth. I'm one of those people where someone will say, oh, I need a custom post type. Custom post type for what? And I ask, and they'll describe it. I go, well, there's a tool for that. You don't have to build a custom post type. Just put this tool in there. It does what you need to do right out of the box. I'm into simple. I like to keep things as simple and as clean as possible. And so often it'll come up and people say things. And I just say, hey, if that's working for you, that's great. Congratulations. We'll do it. Now, let's say it switches gears and they become a customer. They become a client. Now I have to perform due diligence. I have to meet them where they're at. I have to say, hey, looking at your tech stack, I don't think this is the healthiest way to go. I think we could do this a little bit better. I think we could leverage this or leverage that, or I think we could take these three things and combine them into the one tool that actually works. There's a difference when they're a customer and when they're not a customer. When they're not a customer, A, they're not paying me, right? And B, they don't even want my opinion. Like, they're there telling me what they did because they want to share what they did and be in the spotlight for that moment. The best thing to do is just keep your yap shut. Let them be in the spotlight for the moment. No harm, no foul. Just let them do their thing. That's what I'm talking about, this little girl on the bike ride. Do I need to be the hero? Do I need to be in the spotlight? Do I need to fix the kid's bike on the trail? No, I don't. I just need to make a suggestion and then keep my yap shut and let them figure things out. If they ask for help, I'm there. If a week goes by and they don't make any changes, I'm probably going to mention it again. Hey, I don't want to overstep my bounds. I just want to make sure I offer, and then I'm out, right? I'm not there to be pushy. I'm not there to enforce my ways. And I think that's where a lot of people go astray. I used to go astray that way. When I was in my 30s and 40s and I was a super A-type driven personality, I was like, oh, I don't know why you do it that way. I would do it this way. I don't know why why are you doing it that way? It's easier to go this way. And then arguments for what? For what? They're not your customer. They're not paying you. Now you've upset somebody. You came across in a negative way, right? There's all these negative things. Life is so much easier when we focus on the positive. Like I've been saying for years, we need to find the opportunities within the obstacles, and we need to find those silver linings. And with that, I'm going to end it. Again, the theme of this was, sometimes it helps when you know when to keep your big yap shut. Have a good one. Bye-bye.